Welcome to the What's New General Enhancements video. This video describes the general enhancements made to BMC Remedyforce in the Summer 16 release. With these enhancements, you can close a broadcast and its linked incidents even if there is an error in closing a linked incident. Use keyboard shortcuts when working on the Remedyforce Console tab. Upload attachments up to 25 MB. Create change requests during a blackout period, and configure filter criteria to show filtered CIs and assets to fulfill service requests. Let's take a closer look at each of these enhancements. You can now close a broadcast even when there is an error in closing any of the linked incidents. In BMC Remedyforce Summer 15 and earlier releases, when closing a broadcast, if you selected to close linked incidents and if there was an error to close a linked incident, the broadcast was not closed. With the Summer 16 release, while closing a broadcast, if there is an error while closing a linked incident, the error is added as a note to the incident in the action history section and the broadcast is closed. Note that if there is an error when closing the broadcast, the state of the broadcast is rolled back to the state in which it was before you closed the broadcast, which means that the data in the broadcast before closing is retained as is. You can change the existing keyboard shortcuts by enabling alternate keyboard shortcuts. In the earlier versions, you could not use keyboard shortcuts with Alt plus Control plus number keys. This key combination was problematic because the number keys also have other symbols. In the Summer 16 release, you can enable alternate keyboard shortcuts for the default keyboard shortcuts that include the Alt, Control and character keys. Take a moment to go through the alternate keyboard shortcuts. By default, the alternate keyboard shortcuts are disabled. To enable these shortcuts, navigate to the Remedyforce Administration, Application Settings, General Application Settings page. If you enable the alternate keyboard shortcuts, the keyboard shortcuts used for tab navigation in cell service are disabled as they use number keys. Also, if you have defined a custom shortcut for any of these actions, your custom shortcut keys take precedence over any other shortcut key. Another important enhancement is the increased size for attachments. Starting with Summer 16, system administrators and staff members can upload attachments up to 25 MB in size. On the Remedyforce Console tab, from records such as incidents, problems and tasks, and from Remedyforce chat. On the Remedyforce Administration tab, for supporting information of accounts. In email messages, when users send an email message to create an incident. In Cell Service 2.0, when submitting and viewing tickets and requests, requesting a service and using Remedyforce chat. You can now create a change request during blackout periods and notify the change manager about it. To enable users to create change requests during a blackout period, system administrators must enable the override blackout setting for each user. This checkbox is not available on the users page by default. First, assign the checkbox to the page layout. Also ensure that you provide field level permission to this field to the users of the system administrator profile. For that purpose, go to Setup, Customize, Users, Fields. To send an email notification to the change manager when a change request is scheduled during a blackout period, a new workflow, that is, check for all change requests scheduled during blackout, has been added. This workflow is disabled by default. To enable this workflow, click Activate. When a change manager creates a change request overriding a blackout period, or creates a change request that conflicts with the service outage, a warning message is displayed. The change manager can view the details of the conflicting blackout period or service outage from the change schedule to determine the overall impact of the scheduling and then decide whether to override the conflicting blackout period or service outage. Let's take a look at the enhancement that enables you to configure filter criteria to show filtered CIs and assets for service requests that must be fulfilled by assigning CIs or assets. System administrators can configure criteria to show only filtered CIs and assets to a staff member who is working on a service request. To fulfill this service request, the staff member must link a CI or asset to the service request. If no filter criteria is specified, system administrators will have to add a lookup to the base element object to each request definition, and the filter criteria will be the same for all request definitions. However, with this enhancement, you can configure different criteria for each service request definition. System administrators can configure the filter criteria for each request definition on the Fulfillment tab. After the request is approved, when a staff member works on a service request, the Fulfill Request CMDB option appears as enabled in the Actions menu. When the staff member selects the Fulfill Request CMDB option, a list of filtered and applicable CIs or assets is displayed. Staff members can link the required CIs and assets with the service request. The selected CIs and assets are shown with the service request in the linked configuration items and assets related list. For more information about these enhancements, see docs.bmc.com. We hope this video has helped you familiarize yourself with the general enhancements added to the BMC Remedyforce Summer 16 release. Thank you for watching.